Because people will always be like, oh, I applied to this, I applied to this, I applied to this. And it's like, how in the world did you do it? How did you find everything? You know, how does it just come to you? Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to find different opportunities and stuff to apply to, like summer programs, like the stuff that I talked about how to apply to in my previous video, and just general like things to add to your like college applications, things to further your career, your CV, just stuff like that, different opportunities. But first, a message from our sponsor, not really sponsor, but I do have an affiliate link for this. It's something cool that you can do if you're a high schooler, which is the High School Academic Research Competition in partnership with Columbia University and Crimson Education, who I am an intern for. So the Columbia High School Academic Research Competition is essentially just what the title suggests. High school students who like around the world compete to write a 2-page research proposal on a topic of your choosing. It can be anything from politics to stem cell research, whatever it is. Just if you're interested and you have ideas in the field that you think should be talked about, then you can sign up. The link is in my description and also on the screen. Sign up with my code ECL for 400 to get a $5 discount on the $15 application fee, or if you apply early, the $10 application fee, making it just $5 to enter this incredible competition with boot camps and sessions with researchers. And sign up today if you're interested, and on with the video. So today I'm going to be talking about essentially how you can find these different like opportunities and these different things to do, just, you know, how to locate them. Because people will always be like, oh, I applied to this, I applied to this, I applied to this. And it's like, how in the world did you do it? How did you find everything? You know, how does it just come to you? And oftentimes it doesn't just come to you until, I'll get to that point later, but it doesn't just come. You have to sort of like, there's steps that you can take, but they're essentially just like different ways that have worked for me, right? So the first category is social media. And when I say social media, I mean, you know, Instagram, TikTok, even the Google homepage, which essentially, right? So all these things I mentioned, Google, TikTok, basically every single social media nowadays runs on algorithms, right? And algorithms adjust based on what do you like? You know, if you see a TikTok video, you like it, you watch all the way through, that kind of thing, it shows the algorithm, even YouTube actually, shows the algorithm that you like this thing, right? And so your ads and your targeted like advertiser content, and even just the content that's recommended to you within the app is going to be adjusted based on what do you like, you know? And so if you like content about like opportunities, studying, depending on, you know, what level you're in, if you like content similar to what you're looking for, then the algorithm will do its job and bring you what you're looking for. So I just like follow a lot of like studying influencers, studying content on like YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that, even TikTok. And also on my Google searches, like I would search a lot of that stuff. My ads, my like recommended content, it all became tailored to, you know, not just studying content, but also like college apps and then like opportunities and then stuff, you know, the sort of pipeline that it brought me to was these different opportunities. And so that's what I recommend that you guys do. Even follow the organizations and like those competition or whatever pages, because for example, like competitions usually will have an Instagram account or TikTok account, or even like the organizations that you want to work with. Like for example, the UN, right? Those big organizations, follow the UN, follow UN volunteers, follow the UN association of your particular country, follow the youth of the United Nations in your country so that you can know what's going on, right? And sort of like a subsection of the social media category is LinkedIn. So I have this love-hate relationship with LinkedIn. Honestly, I say love-hate because the part that I love is what LinkedIn gives you is it gives you access to so many opportunities because everybody on LinkedIn is a professional, career focused social media. And so the content people post is like people post or repost or like, which like is what comes on your feed, is different opportunities. People will have like posts just sharing like, oh, I have this PDF of opportunities you can apply to, just that kind of thing. And like there's different like opportunity platform, not just on LinkedIn, also on like Instagram and other social media, but it's more popular on LinkedIn, I would say. And so yeah, so LinkedIn as a whole can provide so many opportunities because even companies looking for volunteers will post that on LinkedIn sometimes. So I would say LinkedIn is really beneficial if you're looking for opportunities. And even if you're like on LinkedIn, make sure you're on LinkedIn. Like update your page, add all your experiences, like fill every category that you can fill on LinkedIn because a good LinkedIn profile can really get you places because your connections even and your network on LinkedIn, like what they repost and like what, you know, you can just DM people who, like for example, one of my LinkedIn connections is the executive director of Schmidt Futures. Like, it's just these people that are really, really, you know, try to follow people who are like in your profession and who are like far above in your profession because whatever they post could be an opportunity for you. And if you're like, you know, it's just the connections that you make on LinkedIn are very, very useful. So I would say get on LinkedIn and make sure your LinkedIn profile actually looks good. And the hate part of my relationship with LinkedIn is with how it feels really, really braggy. LinkedIn just feels like the place people only post once they've won something, once they've accomplished something, when they did a TED Talk, which like I'm guilty of this as well. All of my posts are like successes that I've done, but it just creates this sort of toxic culture of like, you know, just hustle culture, like, and you comparing yourself and you feel like you haven't done enough. So don't doom scroll on LinkedIn because I feel like LinkedIn doom scrolling is the worst, but use it productively, use it intentionally, and it can really, really get you places. But yeah, moving on. My other category is the community that you have, right? And when I say your community, I mean your school, the people you interact with on a day-to-day basis. And your community can be a useful way to get opportunities because oftentimes like your school will send emails, your university counselor will send emails. And a lot of people in my class just like don't read emails, which is like, ma'am, like your school newsletter, if you have one, the school communications often contain a lot of really, really valuable opportunities. Even like the posters, there was a YYGS poster up at our school. And I was guilty of this. I walked past it like 50 times before actually like stopping to read it and like actually applying. So yeah, and even like the Yale International Relations Leadership Institute, that was from an email from my university counselor that he sent and I applied. So your school community and like people around you are really useful because like my parents sometimes like will send me things that they've seen. So really, really be, you know, alert. I don't want to say alert, but like when you hear things that you might be interested, when you hear like little keywords of like, oh, someone's talking about this, let me ask. Or even just if your school isn't really big on like emailing and sharing opportunities or whatever, go to your teachers, go to your English teacher, say, hey, do you know of any essay competitions that I could participate in? Or could you help me look? Go to your university counselor and say, hey, are there any opportunities that you're aware of? Because I'm looking to do some stuff to expand my CV. Go to your principal if you have a good enough relationship with them. I've gone to my principal about a lot of things. You know, just really use the people you have around you and what they know, the adults around you usually, and use what they know and what like they're aware of because usually it's really useful. So community. Another category / way of finding opportunities is, this feels very generic, but putting yourself out there / doing like absolutely the most. And let me explain. When you are engaged in a thing, like when you're taking part in a competition, when you are applying for something, when you're in a community of like people taking part in these opportunities, make sure that you network, that you do a good job at what you're doing. Like when you put actual effort into the opportunity, like be it a conference, be it a program, whatever it is. whatever it is, when you work really, really hard and when you try and like, you know what I mean? When you actively put in the work, the people organizing it or like, you know, the whatever head people will take notice of that. And in my personal experience, this happened to me like twice so far with Rise. When I was applying to Rise and like in the Rise community, I was being really helpful. I was just like answering people's questions, being really friendly. It wasn't even like I was putting that much extra effort in. I was just being helpful and friendly. And I was like chosen to become a community engagement assistant. And when I was taking part in the high school academic research competition, which I mentioned at the beginning, which you should totally register for because it was like probably the best decision that I've ever made because of what it led to, which is when I was in the Discord community of like the other competitors, I was just, again, really, really helpful, really just being of assistance to people just out of the kindness of my heart. And the like organizer like saw that and basically like said, oh, are you interested in being a moderator for the server? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was a moderator, and then I became an intern for Crimson, and then all of this just so much stuff happened like after becoming an intern for Crimson that like I'm becoming a paid intern as well, and like that just landed me a job essentially. So it's helpful to like when you are partaking in something to work really hard at that and to just be generally helpful, because that can bring things your way that you wouldn't even expect. Like there's opportunities that you can sign up for, and there's opportunities that are just given to you because of merit. And those kinds of opportunities you can really get from, you know, doing this. So yeah, that point is kind of messy, but I hope that it came across well, that essentially doing your best and being helpful can land attention from, you know, higher ups, and also people who you work with might be working on something else in the future that they could include you in, which leads to more opportunities. My next category, I would title it like the spillover effect. And what I mean by this is once you've taken steps to sort of like expand and to like actively seek opportunities, what happens is you get to a stage where they end up just coming to you. Right? And I know in the beginning I said that the opportunities don't just come to you. You have to actively look for them. But at some point, they do. Because once you are like plugged into your community, once you know your teachers and your adults around you know, oh, this person, you know, really, really wants opportunities, they will automatically come to you first when they find something. Once your social media algorithms are tailored to know, oh, this person wants youth opportunities, they're this age, they're in this stage of school, whatever, they will come to you. And once you are on LinkedIn and you're following all the people on LinkedIn that are like relevant in whatever, your feed full of opportunities. And this stage is what I call the spillover effect, but it's really easy to get overwhelmed at this point. And I feel like I have reached this stage where it's like in your face, and it gets so overwhelming because it's like I have to apply to every single thing that I am eligible for. And I included this in the video for the people who are at that stage because you don't have to. Like, pause, take a deep breath. And there is a lot that you're going to see on LinkedIn. There's a lot of opportunities, conferences, summer programs, online courses, everything. And there is this pressure to just be doing the most at all times, but you do not have to be doing everything. Once you've reached this stage, what is most important is looking at what is the most relevant and important to me and prioritizing that. And honestly, sometimes even just only doing that. And at this point, again, you might need to do some algorithm shifting and like tailoring and adjusting to make sure that your feed and what you receive ends up being, you know, focused on those areas. So that is what I recommend once you've reached the spillover effect. You really have to just fine tune and make sure that you're, you know, trying to target things that are for your field and for what your matching what your interests are. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I hope that you kind of have a bit more clarity on how to approach looking for opportunities and like just this general thing, because I know it feels really, really vague sometimes, like opportunities. It's a vague word. It's a very vague concept. And you know, with college apps and everything being so competitive nowadays, there's a lot of pressure to just like stand out by doing all these competitions and whatever. And hopefully this video has given you a way to think about doing that and to think about approaching that in a way that is hopefully helpful and makes sense. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. I will be doing more of these kinds of videos, or to just sit down, talk to you guys about things that I've, learned about, like from my personal experience. So last times was about how to apply to these opportunities. This is about how to find the opportunities, and next video from me will likely be, who knows, honestly, just leave it in the comments. So yeah, see y'all in the next video. And in the meantime, apply to the high school academic research competition, or SARC, because it helps me out because I get, a commission from signups, but it also helps you out because you get the opportunity to, sign up, maybe win, maybe become a Crimson intern. Yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.